Our 1990 U.S. Open champion, Pete Sampras. The 1993 U.S. Open champion, Pete Sampras. The 1995 U.S. Open champion, Pete Sampras. The 1996 U.S. Open champion for the 4th time, Pete Sampras.
Sometimes greatness exceeds the grandest words, but words become legacy when etched on a champion's cup. In an age that values sizzle over substance, without fanfare, Pete Sampras has done one thing better than anyone: win the majors. How many have stood across this netted twine, facing what must seem the impossible, to beat Sampras? Today, a young Russian, Marat conjures the courage to challenge the game's best. American Pete Sampras, focused and in the final, again playing for greatness at the United States Open. Sunday in New York, the Big Apple, Broadway, big time, and that's what tennis fans from around the world have come to see today. Big time action at Arthur Ashe Stadium on the grounds of the National Tennis Center. The U.S. Open Champions Board chronicles the 90s, the Pete Sampras era, Sampras winning 4 Open titles. And today a chance to join Jimmy Connors as the only men in the Open era to hoist this Grand Slam trophy in victory 5 times. Today, the men's final of the United States Open. The final major of the 2000 season as number 4 seed Pete Sampras engages the number 6 20-year-old Marat from Moscow. And down the champions corridor comes Pete Sampras, a man from his very early years has patterned himself after the great champions, Rod Laver being the first. He wanted his name etched in history. He's accomplished that. 13 Grand Slam titles, and the crowd, 23,000, acknowledges Sampras and Marat Safin. On a hazy 80-degree day in New York, we're ready for the men's final to climax this great championship. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg. We welcome you to New York. In football terms, on an NFL football Sunday, this town cheers for the Giants and Jets, and we've got a giant in that spirit, Pete Sampras, and we have a young man from Moscow that wants to join tennis's jet set. It's a situation that Sampras can well appreciate. 10 years ago, he was the youngster knocking on the door, and he finally pushed it through, and now has become one of the great players in the history of this sport. How young he seemed to be 20 years ago. Well, John McEnroe and Mary Carrillo join us here for this final event of this 2000 season. John, happy anniversary, first of all. 20 years ago, you went 5 and beat Connors in the semis and Borg 5 in the finals to win this championship.
You know, you always have been good to me, Dick. I appreciate that. It's nice to bring that up.
What's it mean? What's this all mean to these two men?
Oh, well, this is it. I mean, Pete Sampras is going to be the best player in the world if he wins this match for the year, in my opinion, no question about it. But what it means for Pete more specifically is, you know, how is he going to hold up? This is what I thought about. You know, how am I going to come back Saturday after playing a long, tough match? His wasn't quite as tough as the 5-setter I played, but it was tough enough. How is he going to rebound the next day against a stronger, fitter opponent? What I wanted to prove, because I was considered someone who may not have been the fittest player in the world, that you can use something upstairs called the mind to overcome those hurdles. And no one in the history of the game, in my opinion, has done it better than Pete Sampras has the last 10 years.
Well, is the torch about to be passed, however? Is it Marat Safin's time, just as it was for Pete 10 years ago?
Oh, Marat Safin has had a remarkable season, Dick. I mean, he improves on the changeovers, it seems like. This guy is really coming on fast. But he reminds me a little bit on this day of what Venus Williams was like 3 years ago when she played in her first Grand Slam final against Martina Hingis, and she got outplayed, she got outpoised, she wasn't quite ready to make that step. Pete Sampras, though, will have to be very, very alert. I mean, this kid is very, very good. Pete knows that. He serves big, he returns big. He can do it all. I think these are the two best athletes on the men's tour. But I don't think Pete might be a little shy, but he's not at all retiring. He's had a great year. He considers any season where he can win more than one major. I mean, one major is a great year. He's going for his second, and he's done it a bunch of times. I mean, this is not an easy thing for him to do, especially the Wimby U.S. Open double. And he's trying to do that for the third time, try to win 2 majors a year for the 5th time. And I got a feeling this guy's ready to do it. He has not lost a Grand Slam final in 5 years. He's won 8 straight, and believe me, he knows that and thinks that he can win 9.
In Grand Slam finals, Sampras measuring his high talent is 13-2. Now let's talk about the 20-year-old Safin. He has big shots and he has a big temper. Will he be able to control both today?
I like both of that, but he's got a few things in addition to that. He's an engaging personality. He's the type of player the male tennis tour should promote and market better. And as what you saw in his previous match against Todd Martin, when things get tight, he's got more variety to his game than you may think. And we all know about the power, but this guy is one of the best and quickest athletes on the men's tennis tour at 6'4". He covers a lot of ground, and here, what he does is you watch that shot, as he's learned specifically, and particularly the last 6 months or so of his tennis career, is he doesn't have to put holes in the court, put holes in his opponent. Then he can mix it up, take something off it, God forbid, mix up the angles, play longer points, and he's, as Mary said, he's advancing literally by the week. I mean, I firmly believe the man you saw yesterday, Hewitt or Safin, is going to be the #1 player in the world in the next year.
All right, Mary, what's the key to winning?
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
It's no big deal.
The key to winning is, again, I think quality of second serve is going to play a very big role in this. Both these guys can boom their first serves. Both, I think, will be looking to attack that second serve and make something happen. This could be decided by a couple of tie breaks. I mean, that's how close it could be if Safin has really come to play.
Well, Sampras has the advantage there. He's been broken only 4 times in the entire championship. Safin's serve has been broken 17 times. We're ready for the men's final in New York.